Hi guys, it's Drew Bradshaw here, and today we're going to look at text evidence. So what is text evidence versus analysis? Evidence is the facts or information that prove something, while analysis is a close examination of the parts or structure of something. Basically, it's how we discuss or interpret the information. Textual analysis is studying the evidence in a text to understand its meaning. Textual evidence is information in a text that backs up your analysis. And I like some of these sentence starters over here. According to the text, or the author stated, or on this page it said, in the third paragraph the author wrote, based on what I read. Those are great sentence starters. Here's some for inference over here. From the reading I know that, blah blah blah, therefore I think. When the text said this, I thought or I inferred. After I read this, I conclude that. I think this because. I know this because. So these are some great sentence starters over here too. There are two kinds of textual evidence, explicit and implicit. Explicit evidence is proof plainly stated. So it's plainly stated in the text. The author just comes out and says it. Implicit evidence is evidence that is only implied by what the author stated in the text. You have to figure it out. You have to read between the lines. If you come home and your dad says, "I'm very annoyed you didn't clean your room. I'm pretty tired of asking you to do it." That is explicit evidence that your dad is upset. He flat out told you. But if you come home and you see your father is frowning and stomping around the living room, you think, oh, he seems upset. That is implicit evidence that he's upset. He didn't say he's upset, but you are drawing conclusions or reading between the lines. Let's take a look at this text called In Our Neighborhood by Alice Ruth Moore. The Harts were going to give a party. Neither Mrs. Hart, nor the Mrs. Hart, nor the small and busy Harts who amused themselves and the neighborhood by continually falling in the gutter on special occasions, had mentioned this fact to anyone. But all the interested denizens of the particular square could tell by the unusual air of the bustle and activity which pervaded the Hart domicile. The author doesn't include any discussion by the Hart family that says, hey, we're going to have a party, so there's no explicit evidence of a party. However, the author writes that the neighbors are guessing that there will be a party based on implicit evidence. They see the Harts prepping their house for a party. When we make a guess based on implicit or explicit evidence, we are drawing inference. Inference is a conclusion we draw based on evidence and reason. I'd like you to pause here and open up the Don Quixote PDF that was included in this module. Please take your time and read over that one-page PDF very carefully. After you have read the PDF, please return to this video.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Welcome back. Thank you for reading Don Quixote by Miguel Cevantes. To paraphrase that one page, it says that the main character decided to become a knight who searches for adventure. He imagined himself rewarded by kings for his good deeds. To that end, he fixes up some old armor, but his repaired helmet doesn't stand up to the test. He adds iron to the helmet, but he does not test it out again. After reading this PDF, you may draw the inference that Don Quixote is not qualified to be a knight. Some explicit evidence might be that he does not have the proper equipment. Some implicit evidence might be that he only knows what it's like to be a knight from reading stories. The author is suggesting that Don Quixote doesn't have real-life training that he needs. We may also point to the implicit evidence that he determines his makeshift helmet the most perfect construction, even though he has not tested it. The writer is implying that Don Quixote is perhaps not smart or thorough enough or even sane enough to become a knight. Most texts are full of evidence. It's easy to pull out one piece of evidence or many pieces of evidence, but it's usually more useful to find the best piece of evidence. When you are looking for the best evidence to support a deduction, ask yourself, would everyone agree that this evidence leads to my conclusions? So let's find the best evidence. We want to prove that Don Quixote is not in his right mind. There's a lot of pieces of evidence for this in the text. We could say that Don Quixote imagined that he should become a knight. We could say that he imagines the kings will reward him. He imagines that he can use his grandfather's old armor in his adventures. We could also say he believes that he can repair rusted and mildewy armor with pasteboard, which is sort of like paper mache. We can also say he does not test the armor after he fails to fix it a second time. But let's choose what is the best evidence here. We've narrowed it down. Do you think it's the first one? Or do you think it's the second one? Number one is Don Quixote imagines becoming a knight. Is that the best evidence to say that he's a little on the crazy side? Or is it number two? He believes he can repair rusted and mildewy armor with pasteboard. Which one is a little more crazy? Which one is the best evidence? I think number two. I think number two because it's not so strange for Don Quixote to imagine himself becoming a knight. After all, many of us at some point dream that we can be a basketball star or a famous singer or even the president. But most of us know we cannot prepare medieval armor with pasteboard, cardboard, paper, glue, or anything like that. Not knowing that you can't make medieval armor out of cardboard makes Don Quixote seem like he's really out of touch with reality. That's why number two is the best evidence. So out of these two, which one do you think proves that he is crazy? What is the best piece of evidence? Is it number one, he does not test the armor after he fixes it a second time? Or two, he imagines that kings will reward him? I think it's number one. Again, it's not too strange to hope that we might receive praise from powerful people, even if it's unlikely that we will receive that praise. But to not test armor after you repair it is dangerous. It could be a matter of life or death. When Don Quixote doesn't test his armor, we know he's not in the right state of mind. That's why number one is the best evidence. If we want to show someone is not in his right mind, we must choose evidence that everyone else can agree with, so we can prove they're out of touch with reality. So take this time now to tidy up your guided notes, and then if you want to expand your knowledge further, please watch the Khan Academy video that's provided in the Canvas link. After reviewing the content and your guided notes, please take the text evidence mastery check found on Canvas. And then finally, for fun, I've provided a link from an old PBS show called Wishbone. It's a show with a dog that tells and reenacts different stories from classic literature, and you can watch the episode on Don Quixote and you can see him try to chase giants, aka windmills.